Hey everybody, welcome back to We Are Podcast.
This is Camp Slash Horrorcast, Season 4, Episode 12, The Black Phone.
If this is your first time checking out the podcast network, we appreciate it. Please head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And just a reminder, Camp Slash Horrorcast is a weekly live videocast available on Twitch and YouTube. We go live every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time at twitch.tv/WeArePodcastNetwork and youtube.com/WeArePodcastNetwork. As the Camp Slash Horrorcast is live, I will not be editing the audio for this podcast. So what you saw live is what you get here. Please come watch the stream every Monday at 8 p.m. And if you want to see the previous streams, go check out our Twitch or YouTube channel. And for a full list of future films we'll be watching, please head over to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /WeArePodcast. All links can be found in the description. And with that, on to the Horrorcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to Camp Slash Horrorcast, where we talk horror movies from the past every Monday at 8 p.m. Central. I'm your head camp counselor, Duck. I'm here with other head camp counselors. We have Joey, Jesus, what the fuck, Johnson? What's up, Joey?
I actually wrote down that quote, and I say that constantly. That's my good night prayer, actually.
Yeah, that was probably one of the best parts of the movie. It fucking killed it. Next, we got Jay. A man never leaves a friend behind. McClintock. Jay, how are you, sir?
I am well.
Fuck yeah, welcome to the cast. Next, we got Alex. Even the papers call him the grabber. Roughton. Alex, how are you, sir? That face is saying it all. Yes, that's this face right there. It's an audio podcast. You got to say something. I will have to describe it.
I have the unpopular opinion this show, so I'm gonna save it.
Cool. Yeah, let's wait on it. Next, we got David. You're going to have to stand up for yourself one of these days. Jessup. David, how are you, sir?
I'm great. This movie triggered me when I saw it, and I can't wait to relive my pain and suffering for you guys.
They triggered me in some points too, but not the kidnapping part. So I'm intrigued to see what triggered you. And finally, we have Raph. He was an idiot, but he was my idiot. Raph, how are you, sir?
You fuck with Finnegan, you fuck with me. Or I fuck with you, I fuck that one up. Damn it.
It's okay, man. Don't feel like you're a cuntwad, which was the word used in this. I never heard when I was a kid. Cuntwad. I was like, that was a good one. Guys,
these kids were very 70s.
It was very 70s. The guys, we watched The Black Phone. Release date September 25th, 2021. Actual this year, June 24th, 2022, because they moved it back. It had such a good reception. They were going to release it in January, but they decided to do a summer release. Running time 103 minutes. Budget 16 to 18 million with a box office of 130 million. Woo! It made back its money. All right, synopsis. After being abducted by a child killer and locked in a soundproof basement, a 13-year-old boy starts receiving calls on a disconnected phone from the killer's previous victims. All right, and we also got Miles. I need to see Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Francis, Miles, how are you, sir?
Sorry, I'm late. I just had to answer my old landline that hasn't been connected for decades, but just keeps ringing for some reason.
You hear it too?
All right, let's watch a trailer, at least a bit of a trailer. So let's see what we got going on. There he is, right there, ladies and gentlemen. The Ethan Hawke, the grabber himself. All right.
I'll be home in the morning.
Where are you going? I'm
staying over at Susie's.
Yeah.
Tonight.
The flyer.
The papers call him the grabber.
Oh no, the flyer.
You don't actually believe that story.
The papers call him the flyer.
He doesn't really.
Papers were a big deal in the 70s.
I mean, even in the 90s, dude.
Anybody else think she was gonna get napped first?
You goof.
No.
Isn't that just
No.
She's too obnoxious. She's way too obnoxious. He'd be like,
she's the best character in the movie, sir. Who's obnoxious?
She's good obnoxious, but she's obnoxious.
Are those black balloons in there? Would you like to see a magic trick?
Nah, nigga.
Nah, I'm good.
I have an announcement to make. One of our students, Finney Blake, was abducted.
This wasn't in the movie.
What if I could help the police find Finney?
No, that wasn't in the movie. There was
also,
some
I
weird
love that she prayed in front of like a wooden Jesus fish.
Yeah.
It's called a neck face.
It doesn't work. Not since I was a kid.
Blumhouse knows how to cut a trailer. I'll tell you what.
Daddy, I had a dream about it.
They don't know how to cut a fucking film.
He was taken.
By man.
Ooh.
Yes.
We never release those details.
Yeah.
All right, that's enough of the trailer.
All right, thank
it's
you.
2.5 minutes long, so we'll keep going with that. Guys, let's talk our history first. Me and Miles, we get to go first because we saw this bitch early. That's right, we got early screening tickets. We saw it, what, 2 days early, Miles? Is that right?
Something like that. But yeah, the weird part was we were at like North Park Mall, which is like the wealthiest of malls, and this was the most ghetto theater experience we've had in a minute.
It was.
We got nachos, and like after Ducky ordered them, they're like, "Sorry, we don't have any cheese." So it's
I was like, "Do you like nachos, Miles, without
I just
cheese?"
paid
He's like,
$10 for chips, dude.
"It was ridiculous." And then we almost didn't get into the movie. They overbooked it with free tickets, but the press didn't show up, so we got to be the press that night.
They papered the room.
Yeah. Only people actually showed, so it's like the opposite of comedy.
It was crazy packed. It was fun, and plus Miles offered me acid before we went. I didn't take it, but as we watched the movies, I thought Miles had taken it, so I kept worrying about him because there was some intense stuff.
I didn't want to go alone, man. I thought it'd been a fun like bonding experience for me and Ducky, but he wasn't cool about it.
Nah, I was like, no, thank you, no, thank you. I
didn't want to bond with that like rickety ass seat I was in.
Yeah, dude. And then the opening part where it does like all the credits and stuff like that, and it's really intense and like sounds and like visually, and I'm like, Miles has got to be freaking out. Miles has got to be freaking out. And I'm like, are you okay at the end of it? And he's like, dude, I didn't take the acid. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Whatever. All right. Did anyone else see it in theaters? Anyone else see it in Peacock when it came out? You saw it in theaters, David? What'd you think?
I saw it on Sunday of opening weekend, and yeah, it was really fun, man. It was fun reliving horrific experiences in my past.
Jesus Christ.
Did you identify more with the child or the grabber character?
I identified as the little girl.
Really? Explain.
Yes.
Well, because my friend was he disappeared and then was later found murdered.
Oh,
and
shit.
The whole well, it's why I do creepy dolls. But the whole thing, the thing of her praying, asking for, help, basically, is what I did for 2 weeks until we found his body.
Oh my God.
I was, and dude, it just hit me so fucking hard. Like I had thought I had dealt with all that shit, and then when that happened, and his murder is still unsolved, even though we never did it. But she lawyered up anyway. So that really hit hard. And then the other scene that really hit me hard was the father abusing the daughter.
Yeah.
I didn't get abused like that, but my stepbrother did. My stepbrother got the brunt of my father's wrath.
Oh,
I saw that a lot as a kid. So yeah, this movie fucked me up, man. But I liked
it. And then I made you watch it again.
Yep.
Good old times.
I had some issues with the some of the editing and pacing, but overall I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Anyone else got history with the movie?
I went and saw it in theaters. In terms of trauma, I don't have anything that deep. I did play college baseball. In the opening scene, he has the kid down 0-2 strikes and then throws a fastball right up the middle. I mean, Finney, whatever, he's a liability to his fucking team. All right? they're better off. That's where you throw a junk ball. That's a curveball out of the zone pitch right there. I mean, his arm may be mint, but his decision making's terrible. So.
Anyone else see it theaters or Peacock when it came out?
I saw it in theaters. I saw it the Thursday opening weekend. So yeah, I saw it. I think I told you guys about this. I actually got left at the zoo when I was 6 years old.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I could have been a statistic, but luckily I wasn't, and here I am today. But I actually did not get triggered too much by that correlation. I didn't even think about it really until a couple weeks ago.
It's so weird. I thought about it while watching it. I was like, Jay's story about being left at the zoo. I was like, that, and like in the 90s, let's face it, like I know before that it was
80s.
happening, 80s, not yeah, you're right. More in the 80s, it was about there was a lot about children being kidnapped. And I remember it in the 90s, and now we just worry about children shooting up their schools. So it's fucking weird now. Anyhow,
we could use more kidnapping now.
Yeah, bring it back. Yeah, bring it back, definitely.
The grabber would be like a hero.
It's more Marvel difficult superhero now because of technology. It's a lot more difficult. I'm in a serial killer support group, and everyone laments about technology, how it's ruined it, and we always talk about the glory days of the 70s.
Yeah, I believe it.
Enjoying this episode? Go check out Geekster, a dating and friends app for geeks that focuses on common interests as a way to make meaningful connections. Download today on the App Store or click the link in the description to find out more. Geekster, this is what happens when nerds collide. Geekster, available on iOS and Android.
Well, guys, let's get into conversation about the movie. Yeah, is the little girl obnoxious, or is she a bad actress, or is she a great actress? That's where I want to begin, because I think she's really good sometimes, and then sometimes when the line delivery is way fucking off. And it really, Miles, you said that you think she's the best actress in this movie, or
I said she's the best character in this movie. I didn't notice any like offensively bad line reads, though, if I'm being honest. I mean, I wasn't on acid, so I might not have been in the right mindset to critique a film, but yeah,
I would agree with Miles that she was the best.
I do think some of the dialogue writing was just off. Like some of the writing was super weird. I will say though, I did write other than the obvious slurs, I wrote down the best name calling that was thrown out there. We already said cuntwad. You had fart knockers, you had Noid, you had dickweed, you had cocksucking cowards, and ugly ass face.
And this is where I
all delivered by her. Like all of those lines were her lines?
Noid and dickweed were the bullies, but cocksucking coward, I think and ugly ass face, fart knocker. Yeah, that was all her.
Mm. And don't forget, the writer of this movie, or well, at least the book, is the son of Stephen King. So I know he takes his books to Stephen King and goes, "Can you edit it?" And Stephen King loves using those interesting curse words, so I'm sure that was his introduction.
Especially kids using those curse words.
Yeah. His dad was like, this needs a bunch of kids like jerking each other off.
As I say, if King wrote it, it'd be an orgy in that fucking basement for sure.
Those kids would have fucked.
Yeah, Ghost orgy, like 30 minutes of the film.
That's a different naughty boy.
You have to wait for the European release for that.
Oh my god, VHS naughties. Nasties, I guess it is. Yeah, it's I think she's really good. I love the idea of the children having these supernatural powers. I thought that was really cool. And the way they played with that, and that scene with Raph, that was really, really good. Because I'm telling you, dude, that guy, he's also in Hannibal Rising. He's also in a bunch of other stuff. He's an amazing character actor. But like this acting is so good in this movie, the father, because he is drunk, but he is a functioning alcoholic. You know what I mean? And so every time he's talking, he's drunk, but he's just on the edge of keeping his words from slurring. And I thought that was amazing acting. But when he has that scene where he talks about the mother being able to see things in her dreams, and eventually they led to terrible things, I thought that was very powerful. But to see that both of the children got that power in some way or form, you know, it's what saves them. They work as a team to save each other. You know, I thought that was pretty cool.
I do think it's weird that his character takes a complete 180 in how he grieves, because he's like because of the wife like situation. You find out he's grieving her suicide, and he's this violent drunk. But as soon as his kid gets kidnapped, suddenly he's this empathetic, great father. I guess because maybe it's happening in that moment. But I didn't really like the whole 180 of the character just immediately. Because here's the thing: it's like any good horror movie, I really like endings that don't end happy, right? In a horror movie, or some kind of like where it ends like you think it's going to be good and it's not. And it's kind of funny, like, yeah, the kid's rescued, but he still has to go back to like an abusive drunk dad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing changed.
I think with a functioning alcoholic situation, that's kind of the norm. I've got plenty of friends that are part of like Al-Anon and whatnot, and it's very normal, at least what they tell me, is, you know, you deal with a abusive alcoholic parent, and then the next day it's like Disneyland. Like all of a sudden they're a completely different person. I thought that actually gave it a little bit more gravitas, because that does happen a lot. Because I mean, he's a single dad, with 2 kids, and he definitely needs something to kind of take his edge off in his mind. And so, like, that abuse part was that was rough, because I mean, I child of the '80s, a lot of us got the whip, so we know what it's like. But then you see, like, afterwards, they almost have to give you love to some extent to kind of wash away their pain.
And that's you see the fear of the children. They're very afraid of the father. Like in that opening scene where they're afraid to make noise, he's like, "Could you slurp any louder?" or whatever he says.
Drops the bread box or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but I agreed with him with that one.
Fucking
cereal like that.
Oh man!
What's interesting is watching the abuse scene. It was awful, but like to people like our parents, they would watch that and be like, "And what's the problem?"
Yeah,
like that's how you.
He doesn't hold his belt with the right figure.
Exactly. That's just how you raise kids back then. But now we look at it and we're like, "Fuck, call the police." Who else wanted him to get some kind of like comeuppance though? I feel like he kind of got off scot-free.
I mean,
there should have been something that happened to him, because that was such a brutal scene.
His kids already see ghosts. That's fucking brutal enough.
Yeah, right.
Well,
he did have a wife. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, back to her acting though. I mean, her crying in that fucking scene felt very, very real.
Yeah,
like the stuttering and the kind of like almost hiccup cry type thing. Like,
mm-hmm.
that. I mean, that was
very believable.
Dude, actually,
he's crying at the end.
I still wanted to go back to that, Doug. Where did you want to point out that she wasn't a good actress?
Oh, no. I said she runs the gamut from being really good to like some of her line delivery is just terrible. It's very
so where are those points? Because like everything we've talked about so far, like Joey just pointed out, dude, that crying, like that felt like.
Oh no, I was totally on board.
That.
I totally think that she can be great. I think it's a lot like Harry Potter, the first couple movies, where the kids just delivered certain lines really weird and very flat. And so I couldn't specify certain lines that she did it, but like there were lines. Whereas Finney, the character, he is pretty consistent across the board. Like you feel like his pain. Go ahead, Raph. What did you think?
He has probably some of the worst lines at the end. They weren't consistent either, and his crying was the worst thing. Like,
yeah, you're right. His crying was pretty bad.
I was like, bro, you need to take a lesson from that girl because she did pretty damn good.
Yeah, I have a theory about her acting at the beginning. I thought it was pretty horrible, but what I really realized is that she's playing that character who's got such bravado and charisma, but it's masking trauma that she's terrified to go home to. And when I see that, it makes me go, oh, no, that's why she's always acting so 10 feet tall and bulletproof. She's totally.
It's very funny. A manager of a comedy club would notice that. You see a lot of that.
See a lot of what?
Me and my first 5 years.
No, a lot of
comedy.
people masking trauma with the 10 feet tall attitude. Jay sees a lot of that. I mean, that's. I do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's therapy. It's therapy. I mean, but you see, this is her therapy. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, she's not a terrible actress. She's a scared young child.
Yep. She's trying to put on this mask of being a badass when in reality she's terrified of going home.
So my question is, 4 kids have been kidnapped so far within the area, pretty close area. It seems like maybe within the same school district, if not just maybe 2 neighboring ones. Yet they're still letting their children walk to school day in and day out without chaperones. They haven't formed some kind of like that part. I didn't understand. I was like, these kids are still running free. Maybe it was just back in the day that's what happened, but like
they're pretty cavalier with their bike riding. Yeah. Like the one kid riding behind like the warehouse district by himself. Like, yeah, he's a fighter and all, but like, come on.
Yeah,
you're right, Duck. Because when they was it back in the Atlanta child murders, when that was going on, like they had really strict ways of kids moving around. They didn't let the kids go out by themselves and everything. So that's a good point.
Yeah, that part didn't make much sense to me, but I was like, okay, I get it. It's a movie and we got to move on. But I mean, the movie gets going pretty quick, and once they get Finney into the basement, that's when things really kind of step back and like every detail becomes important. And that's what this movie's about, is every detail stacks upon each other. And he was the one with the supernatural power to be able to hear the phone ringing. Evidently it had been ringing for a while, and
no one could hear it.
I love the fact that the grabber says, I thought I heard the phone ringing once. Scariest thing, I picked it up. Static electricity must have made it happen. I thought that it was great that there's an excuse for it, And my question is, did he go through the same trauma when he was a child? Because he said the same thing about being in the basement. So it made me wonder if he was abused as a child, and that's why he grew up to be an abuser. I think
total sense.
So I think he was. His father also knew he had ESP, threw him down there, and then he was freaking out, grew up crooked or messed up, and then that's why he started doing this to the kids, trying to get an answer. I don't know what kind of answer he was trying to get, but yeah, he could hear the phone too. I believe Ethan Hawke also had the ESP.
Or his could be just the trauma and he's hearing it and doesn't have the ESP. You know what I mean, though?
It's more like CTE.
It could just be his brain playing the tricks on him. Meanwhile, the actual Finney or whatever actually had the ESP.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they didn't have that in common because he can't hear anything when he answers that phone.
That's what I was
No, he can hear static though, so that's still the line there. It's disconnected. So
yeah, I was kind of curious to that, if he'd been abused also and they became an abuser. But then again, his brother seems to be doing fine with his coke addict.
Not fine at all. Not fine at all.
That was awesome. All right, whenever the cops
they should have just cast Charlie Day in that role, though.
Yeah,
honestly.
It was that would have been perfect casting. But whenever the cops show up and they're like, "You better clean up in here," and then they leave, and then when he looks down at the coke and he's like, "Shit," and then he does a line. Me and Mom's both like, "Yeah, get that coke." Fuck,
we would have all done that line.
Way to clean up, dude.
Yeah. Very nicely done, just like a Hoover. So go ahead, David.
So I have a question, and I don't know the answer to this. Maybe you guys can help me out. One of the things that I got confused about was when Finney broke the window. Remember, he pulled it out.
Why didn't he?
There was no resolution to that, and Ethan Hawke's character never,
never noticed it.
Yeah.
I think it's because the soundproof to that. But
can we say that? Can we just say that ropes don't work like that?
It was a cable.
You can't just feed a fucking rope up
and then it goes back around.
It would just fall right back down.
That was a 70s cable. 70s cable.
It was a cable.
They were stronger back then and more racist.
Yeah.
Speaking of, there's a serious lack of racial slurs in Black Phone.
Wait, what? What a profound
for being the 70s. No, for being the 70s, kids were way more racist in the 70s.
Oh my god!
Well, they said fag. Weren't you happy with fag? Yeah. You got one of those.
Weren't you happy? Mark that. Mark that.
Yeah, dude. Wait, what race is that discriminating against?
Which race does that affect?
Yeah. He did call that kid a beaner, and then
okay. First of all, have any of y'all ever seen the Bad News Bears, the original?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Okay, so you knew what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Same time period.
It's weird because if you look at the credits, Quentin Tarantino did get a co-writing credit for Bad News Bears.
At 11 years old.
The only thing is he wasn't going to call it Black Phone.
Joey for the win.
Nice.
So the grate, let's go back to that. David said, what happened to the grate? The grate actually was down in the hole, and it's what breaks the grabber's leg. So I don't know if you saw it down in the hole.
That's what I'm mobilizing.
Same thing. My second question is, why didn't he grab the carpets and try to shimmy up them? Because obviously that would work. He does say that he tried that. At one point he said
we just didn't see it.
Yeah.
Why didn't he break the bottle and use it as a shank? That would have been my first.
Hell yeah.
I thought that too.
Yeah, seriously.
So he has the pen the whole time. He could have just ended him when he was sleeping on the chair.
Yeah.
Bro, just shank, jailhouse style. Done.
I mean, he eventually gets them, so it all works.
Well, the thing is, a lot of times, Ralph, there's a thing called what's it called, Stockholm Syndrome, where the captives will not want to do harm to their captors, and so that could be a psychological aspect too, where he just doesn't want to engage him, doesn't want to hurt him.
I don't know if that happens overnight. I know it happens, when they're taking care of you, and you have to look at them for protection at that point. But
he did give them eggs,
eggs and Sprite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pigs and
Right.
Sprite.
Yeah.
What a
But
breakfast.
how great was that scene though, with what's his face sleeping and him trying to get out? That was so tense.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, it
such
was
a
pretty
Dude,
good.
Ethan Hawke was like level
Mm.
11 on creepy factor. Like he was.
Yeah, I love
he was
Ethan Hawke
really
in this
good.
movie. I love him in most things he does too. I think
I'd
he
agree
was
with
really
that.
the best part of this movie.
I mean, he's the best part of this movie, but really, when you think about that acting, it's just Michael Jackson in a Guy Fawkes mask.
That's exactly right, Joey. I was about to say it. God damn it, you got
Yeah.
there first. It is so Michael Jackson-ish, if that's even a word. It just rings of him whenever he first meets him. He's got that white face on, and he's just very flamboyant. You know what I mean? And it's not
Creepy.
overly done. He's
He
not
grabs
like
his crotch and is like,
yeah, he doesn't do any of that. But it is very Michael Jackson like, and it's crazy. And then the idea that Michael Jackson took care of so many children and took them with balloons to his, his whatever Neverland or whatever the fuck it was called, and it's kind of creepy. And I kept wondering that because there was small hints of flamboyancy within his character, and the mask, as he changes the mask and the
That's
way they
cool.
look and they're
I love
rearranged, they're different attitudes of the demon that has possessed him, basically, that's making him do this thing. You know what I mean? So when he first takes it on the basement, it has that blank mask where it doesn't have a
so
mouth at all.
creepy.
And then it has the smiling mask after that, where he's in a good mood about stuff. Then his brother shows up, and afterwards, it's always
The
the
mask
sad
was awesome.
mask. Yeah,
The mask was awesome.
and Tom
can we just say
Savini
that
is
this
actually
is
the
like-
one who made the mask. So
Who?
Horror Master Tom Savini.
Tom Savini.
Thank
Oh,
you for
okay.
that. Sorry, Joey. What were you going to say?
I was gonna say, can we just say this whole movie though is anti-magician propaganda? David
really is.
knows Confetti Eddie, great guy. One
Yep.
of my best friends, Richie's a magician. Like I would
Yep.
have believed this way more if the guy was a clean comedian.
Yeah.
Like, that-
Cruise ship comic.
Or Christian comic.
Yeah, Chris.
Oh my god.
So speaking of Michael Jackson, this is going to come across really bad, shocking coming from me. But were any of you kind of disappointed that they didn't explore the raping? The fact that don't you think that this guy was raping these kids?
Yes, he 100% was.
And they don't really mention it.
No,
And I
they
think-
do, because there's a subtle line where he goes, "I'll never do anything you wouldn't like."
Oh
hinting to it.
yeah.
So
That's
he's
right.
hinting to the fact that he's going to.
I guess I just
do
needed
things.
more,
Yeah,
and like
no.
shirt off, the belt off, kind of a thing,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Well, the
It's like
term,
a cuckold.
Naughty boy.
yeah, the naughty boy, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you're a naughty boy.
Yeah, 100%.
So
And
Okay.
not
okay,
not
I'm
racist
better
enough, not
Yeah.
rapist enough. So we 2 strikes, Black Phone.
Hey, not enough blood, not enough gore.
Not enough gore. Is that what you're going to say, Raph? Not enough gore
Yeah,
in
not
this?
enough gore.
I think it's more of a thriller than a horror movie, but it's definitely
I
got.
agree.
Raph really likes to see the insides of his dead children in
Yeah.
the film.
I think-
That's really
God,
much-
Jesus
that's-
Christ.
I think you cut out the cursing. This could be PG-13.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
So-
but
Where you can see another aspect Stephen King had something to do with was when the hero, which you think is going to be the brother, comes down and then gets a fucking axe on the head.
Oh yeah, that was.
all right,
that was
never mind. You
what was
probably
that,
couldn't PG-13 it.
No.
I never thought that guy was going to be a hero.
No.
He was
That's
going to
James
crack the
Ransome.
case, though.
He
That's
did. He
James
did crack
Ransome.
the case.
Well,
Did anyone-
the thing is, he played the cop in Insidious, so
Yeah.
it would be even more on the nose if he cracked the case again. Even though
I
this
love-
movie is pretty much a side story to Insidious.
Dude,
I
it
love
did.
which was
when-
great. I loved Insidious. That was a good.
Good,
one.
I
Alex.
love that when he found the kid, he was more interested in telling him a story than he was
Yeah.
in walking him up the stairs. He's like, "Hey, you want to know how I found you?"
Didn't have big like that guy. If it was modern day film, he's one of the stop the steal kind of guys. Like trying
Yeah.
to figure out how the
For
election was
sure.
stolen, doing a bunch
Yep.
of lines, looking at his board with the strings and pins connecting it.
He comes downstairs. He's like, "Hey kid, you ever hear of Dominion voting systems?"
That's where
What
our
was-
votes went. All our votes
Yeah.
are in this basement.
I'm sure you've heard of Venezuela. Did you know that their dead dictator was anybody else? Did anyone else catch the Silence of the Lambs twist ending, or where they were in the different house? That kind of confused me.
I hated that.
All right, they overly ADR'd it to explain it to the audience because on my second watching of it, I don't know if they had this in the theatrical version, but the cops literally say in the version I watched today, this is where he's hiding the bodies. Oh, he had a separate house, and I think they added that. I don't think that was in the theater.
No, that was in the theater.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
I was kind of confused, man.
How's this guy able to pay 2 sets of rent on a part-time?
Yeah.
And
magic is booming.
Well, he inherited this house. This house was inherited because he says he was, put in the basement or at least saw the basement when he was a child.
Everything goes.
Dude,
Yeah.
but if I'm
Also-
a detective on this case and I notice, like, the first thing I'm going to see is, okay, guy owns 2 houses but chooses to just let his brother live in his. Like, that dude would be across the street all day.
Oh, and also has a black van.
Yeah, blackout
I have
windows.
so many problems with this movie when it comes from like the mystery solving perspective.
Go for it, Alex.
because
What are your problems?
There are so many points where the cops could have. I mean, like by the second kid, they probably would have found this guy. He's a guy that drives around in a black van, wears a top hat, and he carries black balloons with him. And for some reason, the cops knew about the black balloons part. I mean,
You're right.
It would not be hard to put together that this creepy guy that lives alone.
You're definitely like the worst. You're the worst cops ever when you're resorting to a little girl
with
for
ESP.
psychic ability.
It was like a fucking South Park episode.
It was the 80s.
Also,
like a Stephen King
has
book.
the second house that could have totally been like left out, and it would not have mattered how he disposed of the bodies. I mean, he could have been leaving them in ditches on the side of the street for all we fucking care. I mean, the fact is that he was getting away with killing children. That ending didn't change anything. It wasn't much of a twist.
They even tried to do like the fake out where like there's nothing here. Oh wait,
That was a Silence of the Lambs thing.
So they kind of wanted to do an homage to Gacy, is what it was with Bill.
For sure.
The children under the house, because that's what Gacy did. And also with him escaping at least once, that is a Dahmer situation because Dahmer had a kid escape, actually went to the police, and then he said he was like his babysitter or something and got him back.
Yeah.
It was fucking insane. And that scene where he's outside to him, he's like, "I'll gut you like a pig," and then
it's so
strangle you with your intestines.
Like you believe
that was
like
pretty
that's
good.
what he will do right now. Like and that's what Ethan Hawke is just killer in this movie. And I know horror movies don't usually get Oscar nods. I'm curious to know if he will get one in a year that's so,
I'll put 50 down that he won't.
Okay,
He won't.
That's lame. He's due for one. He's due for one because he's been working his ass off for years and he's taken on interesting roles.
If he didn't get a single Oscar nomination for the Before trilogy, which is 3 of like the greatest movies that Linklater ever made, I don't know if he's going to get it for Black.
Or Training Day. He was great in Training Day.
Training Day was amazing.
He was good. Denzel owned
Denzel
Training
was
Day.
good.
Oh yeah, it was hard to go up against Denzel.
I'm curious though. He's 51. He said he's on the last legs of his acting. I'm curious if he goes for that role though that would put him in an Oscar territory because he's in hell of an actor.
He's done it, man. He was in Boyhood. I mean, Linklater, Boyhood, and before. Like, if you look up Before Sunrise, Sunset, and
those were with Julie Delpy.
Yeah, all 3 of those movies are in the mid to high 90s on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Not a loser in the bunch. They're fucking phenomenal. And he did it 3 times, and they're like, nope, not doing it.
I feel like when guys without Oscars start saying they're on their last legs, that's kind of like the that's a hint to the industry.
Hey guys,
it's like, I'm not stop when I get it. Like start casting.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I almost see Ethan Hawke as like the type that would just keep like he might change his type of role that he takes, but I think he's like gonna die filming a role at some point just because he's that type that I don't see him as the type that's just like gonna go disappear on an island or something. He's like a passionate, like artistic actor who's always pursuing things.
Yeah,
he's got a pretty damn good career. Career.
Well, we haven't talked about the black phone itself, the twist, the ringing of the phone, and Raph is fucking eyes just rolled out of his head. Jesus Christ. What was your issue with the phone?
I fucking hated it, bro. When he became the Sixth Sense, I was so annoyed. I was like, fuck no. And then there were different kids calling, and I'm like, why can't y'all just talk to him in the dream? Like, why the fuck does the phone have to ring? Just because
he doesn't have that power. He has the power to hear the phone.
Yeah. How? Okay. Explain to me how this Astro World phone works.
It's just,
and then
it's just a
Bell.
conduit. He doesn't need the phone, but he sees his sister getting bullied for her dreams. You see what I'm saying? So he shut off the power, and he's got the power. So the phone is just a conduit. It's just a vessel in which he uses to connect to his psychic powers.
But then if you put sand in the phone, it doesn't work anymore.
It still worked. He still was. I mean, literally, his buddy Robin, when he's teaching him how to smack with the phone, like he's like front, back, step back, go forward.
No, but
smack.
he hadn't put the sand in.
But he said that was
but the phone still does work because the grabber hears it whenever he goes, it's for you,
right.
and then he pulls it to the grabber. It's just a conduit.
But they also told him it's the final phone call. Like they made sure to put that in just in case.
Yeah. Well, they also ran out of dead kids to talk to him. So
I love the fact that they don't know their names. I thought that was really cool. The way
they're drifting.
That was cool
fading.
little lore building.
They're fading away.
He's like,
I remember everything else about Finney, like the most forgettable kid, which I thought.
Yeah, I had a problem with that though.
But they did save the coolest kid for last though.
Yeah,
Robin.
with Robin, yeah, he was badass.
Yeah,
and I love his.
No, not him. The rebellious kid, the one that fucked that kid up on with the pinball.
Oh, that was the fourth kid. Yeah. That was.
Okay, well, he
looked like a
pinball band.
He looked like a new character in Stranger Things.
Yeah. I did like how he had acted out right beside the bed in the basement, and then when they cut back, you see all the actions he weren't doing weren't actually random, but there was him for instance kicking the door in, and we just saw him kicking, and we're like, what the hell is happening? But then when it goes back, you're like, oh, I thought that scene was really cool.
And I love the fact that it's all missing pieces of the puzzle. Everything that the kids before him set up like dominoes, he was able to knock down finally. And he was given more time too, because his brother shows up and when he comes downstairs and he's like, things are just not going the way I want them to, and he's like really having a moment where he's expressing it's complicated. I think he says it's complicated, and so usually he has all this time to do terrible things to the children. That's horrible to say. And with this one, he doesn't. He has to really, pick his moments, but it's still creepy.
We also talk about just the nod to how good of a movie Texas Chainsaw Massacre is, that when Robin calls him, he goes, remember what I told you? And all this kid can think about is he's going to die without seeing Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah,
it's I still need to see this movie.
So Alex, you didn't like the phone stuff either?
Well, so I didn't actually have a problem with the black phone itself. I more had a problem with how it was used in the end. I just don't find it believable. Okay, everything leading up to him snapping his ankle, fine. I don't find it believable that this kid whooped this grown man's ass with a phone and broke his neck with the cord.
You obviously have never had a phone from the 70s, bro. They were made
I guess
titanium. So. Well, you know what's interesting is the kid is from Dallas. They had to show him how to use a rotary phone. He didn't know. He was like,
fucking
what the fuck
Zoomers
do I
don't
do
get
with
it,
this?
man.
I know. I was like, what is this thing? Yeah, it was hilarious.
It's fun because I grew up at my grandparents' house and my house. We had rotary phones, and I just remember thinking, why would they put 911 as the emergency number?
I know it takes forever.
9 to click. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it takes forever.
I was thinking that, let's say they had put this in modern times, but it was still the old phone in there. Just how funny it would be the ghost kids or millennials and just give up because they don't know how to contact the kid. They're like, I don't know how to use this shit.
I can't Instagram this, so I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
I'm good.
How many followers will my rescue get?
Well, Raph, do you have a list?
Oh, bro, I do.
All right, what you got?
I just hated this movie so much.
Hey, me too, man. Me too.
Bro, I had so many problems with him with digging and then getting rid of the dirt like he was El Chapo.
All right, he didn't get his shirt dirty at all. He never got dirty. That's what I kept thinking.
From somebody who digs holes all the time, I'll tell you that was fake. He would have obviously been dirty, and him not having any calories would have made himself faint. So then Ethan Hawke would have walked in on him in the hole, and then it was just so retarded. So let me go down this list. I hated this movie 40 minutes in. I felt like Ethan Hawke's character was a gay cuckold or a child molester cuckold. because he wanted the kid to come up there when he was shirtless and he was ready to beat him.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, this movie's about to get nasty, but he didn't. Not enough or not any gore other than the black and white movie they were watching.
The Tingler.
The Tingler.
Yeah.
I looked it up.
And then the axe in the head, that's pretty gory.
So my favorite part would be when the girl hits the kid with the rock. I really thought that kid was gonna die.
Yeah, the blood was squirting out of his head.
Yeah, that was that was gory. You know what the problem is, Ralph? We just got done watching that movie last week.
Exactly.
Or the 2 weeks ago, where
which
the
was sadness. Sweet Jesus.
See, the thing is, these kids,
no spoilers.
Joey. Thanks,
these
Joey.
kids could kick ass, dude. There were roundhouse kicks, suplexes, rocks to the head, and you can't take on a fucking magician.
Somebody was getting ass kicked.
The weakest of entertainers. Yes.
And like way too many allies. There's way too many allies in this movie. Like the kid who just fucking scored on him with that massive home run's like, your arm is fire. We're gonna be besties. Nope, I'm gonna die.
I'm dead.
But then the real evil boys are just like, God, they look like they came out of a Christmas story. Like,
oh, I got that vibe too, Jay. I totally got the Christmas story vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Very
if you look back on bullies, though, you did have bullies like Moose, who were the big guys who needed to be taken down by the little guy. But most bullies were never the big guys. Most bullies were just random, you know? Like my biggest bully was like 1/3 my size.
Gotta disagree. Our bullies in Plano were the football team. I know this because I was on the football team.
You were a bully.
No, I was more like bully adjacent.
Yeah.
I was a manager.
Remember,
that sounds like a great podcast.
Bully adjacent.
Bully adjacent.
All right, Raph, what else you got?
Oh yeah. So I really did think it was bad writing when the ghost would say he hasn't slept, but he's passed out. You can get by him. I'm like, bro, then that means he's asleep. Don't be lying. I really did like the little girl's acting. I thought it was great. My favorite was when she's like, Jesus, what the fuck? After she's been asking. And then another scene I had a problem with was the pinball guy carving that guy up and then just gonna go back and play his pinball game.
Okay, that didn't really happen. That was a dream segment, and it was to give away the number of the house. So it was repeating the number of the house. So he probably
dream. Okay.
Yeah,
I was like, is
didn't.
it flashback?
He probably didn't really carve up that kid. Would be what happened there. So, like I said, it was just supposed to reiterate the number of the house to her.
And then the final thing would be, I hated the stupid ass Home Alone ending. I just hated.
I wrote down Home Alone ending too.
Boom.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
I love Home Alone. I don't see the problem here.
Yeah. One of the greatest films ever made.
Pretty much.
Chris Columbus classic. I thought the movie was good. Does anyone have anything else they want to bring up about it specifically? Things that bothered them, things that
I grew up in that time period. That was when I was a kid, and they fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you notice my favorite thing on the phone in the house were the phone numbers next to the phone?
Oh yeah,
everyone
writing that shit down.
Right?
Yeah.
So
I just wanted to say I think this movie's biggest problem was its writing. I thought a lot of the like main actors did good. I feel like a lot of the kid actors did bad. I don't want to rag on kids too much though. I mean they're little kids, but like I thought the writing was super awkward. I mean, and I brought it up a couple of times where like. I mean, like, even you guys brought it up. Like, anytime that girl's acting felt bad, I feel like it was because it was just written bad. She was delivering it great. I mean, and there was that part where she pulls out like a wooden Jesus fish and prays in front of it. Like, nobody fucking does that. There's just a lot of awkward dialogue, a lot of like just weird moments that feel like that just weren't natural.
See, I like that. I like that she pulls out multiple things because she doesn't know which one actually connects her to Jesus. So she
kind of swears him off at one point and then like kind of like backtracks on it. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
It was just a weird, like, I don't know. I felt like it was extra. I felt like it was useless information. I felt like there was some stuff in this that could, like 13 minutes of this movie could have just gone out and it would have been fine, you know?
See, I feel the opposite. I feel like it's a tight movie, but somebody said it's edited weird. Who said that earlier? David?
Oh, it was my issues were with the scene of him the whole scene of the window thing, where it just felt like you set something up and you really didn't explain it later. And
Right.
also I felt like it felt like Ethan Hawke gave that kid way too much time alone. Like
Yeah.
that kid was doing a lot of shit down.
Well,
in that
he had a
basement.
brother that was high on coke. He had to take care of. Plus, he had to go to work.
He has
So-
gigs, dude. He's
Yeah, he got a gig. He got a really good gig salad gig where
Plus-
he was getting
plus,
booked for
man-
exposure.
You know, hey, look, he's all art's all about the journey, guys, not the destination. So, like, he's already got Finn. He's got to work on the next kill. So he's doing recon. He's waiting for the kid to become naughty boy. His docket is full. His docket is full.
I wanted to say one more thing about the awkward writing. The names in this movie, like the Grabber and Naughty
I
Boy,
hated the
like
Grabber.
yeah,
I
it,
love
it
it.
felt like this was like written by babies, like or for babies. You know, the Grabber. We want to play Naughty Boy.
I'm a baby.
Like-
then I love that name. I thought it was
I
epic.
don't know.
Yeah, dude. I
hated
thought
that
that
name.
the
I don't
villain
know. When you
along the name
compare it,
was
when you
great.
compare it to actual serial killer names that were given to them by the media, I mean, it's just so.
Name
Yeah,
one that's even better than
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Seriously.
The Night Stalker.
Zodiac
Oh,
Killer.
whatever.
Fucking
Richard
awesome.
Ramirez.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Night
the
Stalker's
Zodiac
badass.
Killer.
Zodiac Killer's really
Boston
good.
Strangler.
The Grabber
Yeah.
was the real killer. You can just look up the Grabber. That was the real killer.
Well, if you know, it takes place in Denver, right?
yeah.
And what do they? And like they say, like if you molest kids, you diddle. So they should have called him the Denver Diddler. That would have been
Hilarious.
much more. The Denver Diddler.
Guys,
Then
we
he turns-
have come to we need to rewrite this movie. More
Yeah.
N-word,
Denver Diddler.
more raping, and it's the Denver Diddler.
Not enough raping, not enough gore.
Yeah, we need more gore.
And I'm not saying I'm pro racism. I'm just saying if we're going to be, true to the time period,
Authentic. If we're gonna be
it
authentic,
needs to be authentic.
we need
Quentin
to get
Tarantino is writing
Tarantino.
it.
Yeah, Tarantino's writing it again.
When he's
And
playing the
Leonardo
Denver
DiCaprio.
Diddler,
And then
he's gonna say the
Samuel L.
N-word all
Jackson
the
is the
time.
cop. Samuel L. Jackson's the cop.
All right, guys. I think we pretty much talked it out. Raph, did you have one more thing you wanted to say?
Oh, it was just about the editing. I hated the editing in the beginning where they were doing the still shot, or there was a lot of shots there, and then where it was just going from shot to shot. It actually gave me a headache. And then when he goes into the basement, there was a lot of zooming in and zooming out. It was overplayed. I didn't like the editing either.
Oh, I loved it. All right.
Hey, maybe top 15, top 20 masks in a horror movie. Like take out
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Jason,
for
take
sure.
out like Leatherface, take out Ghostface. I mean, dude, that mask fucking ruled.
For
Yeah,
sure.
I think this guy, the Diddler, I think he's going to go down for that design. Plus, like I said, it's Tom Savini. I think it's going to go down in history as one of the greatest masks in movie history.
It's
So,
iconic.
Yeah.
it's very good. I
Yeah.
mean, you look at that, the poster sells it, the movie
Yeah.
alone. You can see the poster hopefully right now if I'm sharing screen, which I think I am. And it's just so freaking good. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But recommend. Do we recommend it? Joey, do you recommend the movie?
Yeah, I recommend it. Sure. I don't mind it.
Miles, do you recommend it?
Yeah, dude, definitely. Ethan Hawke's performance alone is worth seeing it.
Agreed.
Jay, how about you? Do you recommend it?
I recommend it. I do not think it's the instant classic that you do. I think it is a little bit by the numbers, and again, it's very formulaic to what Scott Arson does. I thought Insidious and Insidious 2, that's where I think those movies is where it became unique. And like, again, I think this one just kind of falls kind of in that same cinematic universe. I think it's fun. I think it's a fun little ride.
Little
but yeah.
jaunt.
Mm-hmm.
That's I'd go like 6.5 out of 10.
I don't know. David, do you recommend it?
Fuck yeah.
Alex, do you recommend it?
I spent this entire time shitting on it, and I would still absolutely recommend this movie. I think this is a fun movie to get drunk to and yell at with your friends. If this movie is free to watch, and you've got a bunch of friends and you want to have a good time yelling at a bad movie, this is a good one to do.
They've got a bunch of
background
and
noise.
it sucks.
Dude,
It's
if they've got a
entertaining
bunch of
and it
friends that are
sucks.
probably not listening to this podcast. I'm also lost on this.
Probably.
I say, if I watch this with David and we get drunk, he's just going to scream more rape. Is that David that said that?
This needs more child rape, damn it.
More rape. Raph, do you recommend it?
So when the beaner came out with the bandana, the first thing my girlfriend said was, "Damn, that looks gay." And I got so upset because when I was 13 years old, that's all I would fucking wear.
Yeah.
So I got a little tear there. No, I would not recommend this movie. It was not good at all.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Ooh.
I highly recommend it. I put this in the top 5 for this year of movies I've seen in
No,
theaters.
you do that a lot. Quit doing that.
Yeah, no, I liked it a lot. I thought it was great.
Stop doing that.
I can be quoted as saying that I think this was going to be as big as The Sixth Sense, and I stand by that. I think it's going to be along the same.
Well, it needs to make about it needs to make about $500 million more, not adjusting, not adjusting to inflation to even come close. So I will humbly disagree.
But Ducky
Another
is seeing
movie
it
that
again
could've
3
used more
times this
child rape.
weekend, so he'll get there.
God damn, you were not wrong about that, Jay. $672.8 million for The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yep.
In $1999.
God
That's
damn.
$1 billion movie today.
That was back when
$1
you get a
billion
hamburger
movie.
for 45
And
cents.
that one did confuse the fuck out of you till the end.
Oh, you like
Yeah,
The Sixth Sense better?
Yeah,
I 100% personally like the
Yeah,
Sixth Sense
dude.
better.
Sixth Sense. How have we not done the fucking Sixth Sense?
It should be in the top 5. We'll get there. All right, guys.
Hey everyone, it's just Duck jumping in here real quick to say thank you so much for checking out the podcast today. If you're enjoying it, head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And just so you know, the next section of the podcast will be clips from the movie, so you can find replays of the live video stream at twitch.tv/We Are Podcast Network and youtube.com/We Are Podcast Network. Once again, all links can be found in the description. Come check out our live stream every Monday at 8 p.m. And for a full list of future films, check out our social media. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /We Are Podcast. And with that, back to the Horrorcast.
Let's get the clips. Arm
awesome.
is mint.
Hey, dude. Man, your arm is mint.
So that Asian guy's like
that.
20 years.
Right.
Is this love?
The arm is mint I hate so much because that's a New York term. Like mint is like an East Coast thing, and they're in Denver, and this kid has said it like 10 fucking times. I don't.
And he's obviously from San Francisco, so of course it's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, but
Because he's Asian. Because all Asians are from San Francisco in the 1970s.
Well, yeah, that's how they built the railroad, Jay. Jesus Christ.
oh my god.
The fuck? Do your own research,
doing
bro.
everything the movie didn't.
Racism check.
Hey, I think we're turning into the bad news bears.
Bad
Oh my
acid
God.
trip intro. This is what I felt so bad for Miles. I was like, he's got to be freaking out.
Hey Jay, what did that intro remind you of? What TV show that we both fucking love?
Walking Dead.
Yellow Jackets.
Yellow
It
Jackets.
does.
But Rap's right. The Walking Dead did do it first.
It does like Yellow Jackets.
Fucking Yellow Jackets is awesome. That's one of the best,
Did
best
you notice
recommendations, Jay.
Did you notice though there was one common motif throughout this entire movie, and it was the backbone of the soundtrack. That would be Pink Floyd's "The Wall" or no, "Dark Side of the Moon" track 2.
I didn't
And they
notice
actually
that.
played at the end of the movie. But what they do is they actually take that, add it to the soundtrack, and they play it
Oh,
backwards and they
yeah.
reverse it. They slow it down. The
That's
entire
cool.
movie soundtrack is made entirely a Pink Floyd "Dark Side of the Moon" track 2.
That's awesome.
Wow, wish they hadn't.
Oh, jeez, Raph. Give it a Moose gets his goose cooked, I guess.
So this kid Moose is from the Righteous Gemstones, man. I fucking love that show.
Dude, that show's amazing.
Oh yeah.
He said,
And then that Beaner's fucking Bruce Lee.
Unless you're scared.
Wasn't he Danny McBride?
Right.
That's Danny McBride as a kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, do it.
Gotta give him a show, man.
Fucks this
Show
kid
the
up.
fucking blood.
I like how
Everybody
just like
gets their ass kicked in this movie.
everybody's so just like rabid about it. They're like, yeah,
Right.
kill that little fucker.
That's how they
At
work
some
that. I mean,
point-
that's how kids are, man. They love
At
that
some
shit.
point, these kids deserve to be kidnapped. Like just like
They
almost
were
get
all
murdered
assholes.
on the schoolyard.
The Denver Diddler was trying to do a service because that kid was clearly going to grow up to be a vagrant. He was going to be.
Oh, the good old
Coming out,
days.
dickweed. Not fooling anyone, Noid. Doing in our bathroom.
Shut the fuck up, Carrot
See
Top.
the sign? It says
Joe
boys.
Hill. Man,
See,
he
you
really
would fight
takes
back.
that.
Okay. All right, here we go. Yeah, I'm about to start shitting. None of these guys are bullies.
Nope.
None of these three are bullies. These are.
They all look like open micers.
Except these guys have more original material.
Oh, Jay for the win.
Dipshits. Move. Hey, Finn.
This kid is the worst actor.
You know, just keep it on, keep it on.
I really thought he deserves an Oscar.
This is his only part you like in this movie?
Yeah.
Right?
I fuck you.
I fuck
Wait,
with
no.
you.
Hey, real quick. Did anyone catch a little Atreyu vibes from this kid?
Yes,
too, a little bit?
Atreyu. Yes,
Yeah.
never-ending story. Totally, man. Where's that
Except,
fucking
except
dragon
in this
dog at?
one, except in this one, he's Artex
Yep.
because he goes into the darkness and
You
never
can
comes
leave
back.
now.
Black balloon.
We also found one black balloon at the scene of
Oh.
Mr. Staggs' abduction.
And we never released those details.
So the question is, where did you hear about the balloons?
Fucking cops being cops, interviewing kids without their parents.
Dude, okay, thank you, Roth. That's what Lindsay said. She was like, that's against the law.
And they're doing it in front of a principal. Like,
Yeah, you can't interview kids without their parents.
They probably threatened her.
Telling us, Gwen.
Either there's a leak in the department
Or what? I'm the grabber?
No.
You think I kidnapped Vance Hopper last spring? Is that it? Vance got held back twice. I've seen him fight, and trust me, he could kick the shit out of either of you.
I hate this.
Gwen, watch
Oh,
your
hell
language.
no.
Yeah, I took him down because obviously I'm the grabber, you dumb fucking fart
She
knocker.
goes ghetto.
Look at me, I'm cussing.
Fucking 25-year-old.
we love a queen. We stand
I
up.
think the little Princess Leia girl in the new Obi-Wan Kenobi series like took her acting from that scene right there.
Yeah, right.
That's what I was saying. The acting's kind of all over the place. Fuck
That's a
Del
new
Grosso.
trend that I've noticed.
Oh, Jesus.
Perfect.
You need some help?
Han Small Man.
Would you hand me my hat?
But why is his face whited out like that? It's got to be a Michael Jackson reference,
Clown.
right?
Also, why does Finney get closer to the van when he recognizes the black balloon?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Again, at that moment, you're like,
So the
you
movie
deserve
can
to
happen.
get kidnapped.
Yeah. So the story can move forward.
It's in the script.
Get in there.
Why would he just let all these balloons go? Because he's literally just releasing like evidence into the like,
Yeah.
and that they could like do a radius of where these things land and be like, oh, he clearly lives
That's what I'm
somewhere
saying.
here.
You could like spot this guy like a mile away.
The
I mean, the
cops were dumb
black
in
van,
this
the
movie.
black top hat, the black balloons, the fucking weirdo that lives alone in two
No,
different
bro.
houses.
Alex,
Dude.
everyone knows that killers and serial predators use white vans, not black vans.
Oh, good.
I would
You
have
got
liked
him
to
there.
see
Plus, it
like
says
wanna-
magician on the side, so he was. They were like, "Oh God, it can't be him."
Can't be.
I want to
Go
see
ahead,
the
Miles.
version of this movie where he is not actually a creep and that he just it's like satanic panic shit and he's like, dude, I just like the color black and everybody's like, no, you
That would have
fucking-
been a better fucking movie.
Yeah.
And all he does,
movie.
and what he does, he actually kidnaps kids to get them away from their abusive homes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The movie has been rewritten and is now better.
And then he
Now
said
it's a top
China for six flavored. Oh no.
I was angry.
Oh, you're scared. But I'm not gonna hurt you anymore. What I said about snapping your neck,
I didn't like his acting either.
I was angry, so
Oh, you're
What?
crazy.
I thought his acting was the best.
on my arm.
Like,
I think
why
it's funny
did
that he says. I think it's funny that he says, "I'm not going to snap your neck," because that's what happens to him at the end.
Ah, yeah.
Right.
foreshadowing?
Raph,
Foreshadowing.
you gotta start fucking
Yeah.
during these movies when you're watching them again because you used to be a lot more positive about
You're
these
right about
things.
that.
I guess. Now we're even.
Oh, so creepy.
You don't have
Ew.
to be scared. Because nothing bad is going to happen happen here.
Why would he let him keep that pen?
On that I give my
I don't think he noticed he had it.
He got
Stabbed him with
stabbed.
Yeah, he got stabbed, but I think he dropped it. I think
Nah.
Finney kept it secret that he had it the whole time.
No
The
shit.
phone.
The magician was impressed that he made the knife disappear. Like,
Whoa.
It doesn't work.
You're a magician too.
Not since I
part
was
of the
a kid.
alliance.
Hang it up.
If you try to touch me, I'll scratch your face. And whoever's coming will see and
This
ask
is a
why.
sick moment. This face.
This face?
Oh, so
You
awesome.
think he's learned over the time of kidnapping kids he has to have that mask, or do you think that he's
Probably.
always worn that mask?
You
He
like
scratched
serial killers
the fuck
learn.
underneath
You
that
always
mask,
learn
dude.
from the kills you do.
Yeah.
Oh
Yep.
Jesus!
Yeah, it does look old too.
Miles.
Hang up the phone now. I was down here once when it rang. Ooh, creepiest damn thing. I think it's static electricity that does it. It went off. I was right next to it. I picked it up without thinking. To see if anyone was there.
What's there?
No.
Phone rings.
That fucking got me, man. That was so good.
The first time a ghost appears is a good jump scare too.
Yeah, that
Oh
was
yeah,
great.
it got me both times.
That
dude.
was great, dude.
It would have been more realistic if it was a Nokia ringtone.
What is that? Dun, 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 dun.
Why not? First thing you lose when?
In purgatory or what?
You don't learn your ability to be ambiguous about fucking conversation.
Yeah.
Your arm is mint.
Oh, he's gay.
The
This
paperboy.
whole movie would have been a great AT&T commercial, just about dropping balls.
Yeah.
You don't lose service even when you cut the cord.
Hello?
Here it is.
Don't go upstairs.
But
Why
then he
not?
goes up the stairs. I hated that.
I did hate that part too, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Are you
All right, I'm
Bruce?
trying to get you to come back around.
Here it is.
Who are you?
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
I got
I don't remember.
Nah, that one did it. The one that got me was the girl upside down.
Yeah, I think it's a girl. The Pink Floyd.
Oh.
You can hear it in the background.
Oh yeah, there it is. That's fucking awesome, man.
And like I said, the entire concept is made up of that, so I thought that was pretty cool.
That kid
And then
deserved that.
whining.
Yeah. All of us could have made that, right?
Not me. Mom's visions.
Well, what if they, they're.
Quiet.
Raph, I'm telling you, is that you, bro?
He was in Lucifer.
He's a great actor,
Was
dude.
he
He
in,
is a great
I think he was in Lost. I don't know if.
He was.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, didn't he play Faraday?
She was
Yeah.
also
Faraday Cage and all that stuff?
touched.
Got creepy eyes.
She saw things and she heard things and she just.
Oh, and the reason, I don't know if I mentioned it, he has to do the 180 is because the cops are watching him.
Oh
Things
yeah.
that her
That's why.
dreams meant something, and eventually they told her to do things.
Sleepy villain. I just like this. Oh, it's the same background as you got, Joey.
Dad?
He's waiting for him to be naughty boy.
The flannel is sick though. His
All I
wardrobe-
could think of, just cuckold. That's all I could think about. He's waiting for his
Oliver!
wife to get down being fucked.
We all float down here.
That one right there. I was like, fuck, run.
You would have been out of there?
Yeah, that's a
You
girl.
would have
She's
found a
wearing
way
skirt.
out of the window? You would have been like, fuck this. Would have ran over, jumped on the body that was floating, jumped out the window.
Mario the jump that It was a longer scene than I remember.
Yeah. Well, I cut it down too. Got you.
And I will gut you like a pig right here in the street. And strangle you with your own intestines.
Nighty night, naughty boy.
Naughty boy.
I hated that line. The naughty
Kiss
boy.
me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kiss me, fat boy.
Awkward writing.
Jesus, what the fuck? I mean,
Best line of the whole movie.
That was me when my friend was dead. What the fuck?
Pinball Vance.
Trust me, Finney Blake. If you knew what you had coming, you'd be fucking terrified. Today's the day, motherfucker!
I'd be pissed too.
I actually liked this character. I thought this kid was cool.
You need a whole
Yeah.
Pinball Vance prequel movie, man.
Oh my god! Oh! Hey! Come here,
Yeah.
Is it about you? Fuck!
I didn't understand why he got blown away for flipping him off.
Because it looked cool, Duck.
It did look cool.
Here's what I think. I think his death was probably the most violent. Like, because I think, like, because he's so aggressive, like, Ethan Hawke had to really just fucking, go above and beyond.
Yeah, he even says, he goes, I fucked up that wall pretty good, and it took him forever to fix it. No man left behind, evidently. Right, that crying is bad.
Don't cry.
I'm not.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Oh, big boy.
Yeah, you are pussy.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I'm with you. I've been with you this whole time.
That's creepy.
You have.
Gay.
A man never leaves a friend behind.
I watched you.
My dad didn't leave his buddies behind when he went to Nam.
That's a lie, because he's a
Backstory, bro.
Mexican. His dad left him. His mom was telling him he was at Nam.
Yes. You raise the phone. Take a fast step back. Step forward. Step
I
back.
know.
And swing.
So Kaido.
Spooky.
And he never did that movement.
Like anyone? No?
Somebody left their dead kids all over the road.
Can someone pick up all their dead kids? I'm sick of it.
Axed.
Hey, you want to know the story about how I found you, man?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. We can talk about this.
You made me kill my brother.
It wasn't me.
He was an idiot, but he was my idiot.
That's a great line.
What a waste
Come
of
on.
perfectly good cocaine. Like, I want to know what happened.
Right.
So where's that cocaine at?
Yeah, that's the sequel I want to see.
Bring it on. Home Alone style.
Oh, that was so good.
Great.
Nasty
So good.
No, not the mask. Don't get the mask off. I do love that he killed him with the cord.
Yes, up. I guess
He
there goes.
broke his
there's
neck.
He
there's
should
your
have
point.
choked him to death with the
That's a
cord.
great
I
line.
think
That's
it's
a great
so
line.
corny.
But there's your point to the whole window scene. Is the grate is what broke his ankle. in
Gotcha.
that
But-
poem.
But he didn't see it. Like Ethan Hawke, when he went back in there, he didn't see the window crate was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
that-
issue I had. Is that he
Yeah.
wasn't very good. He wasn't a very good captor. He wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
So,
But I thought the phone thing, right? This was necessary to kill him like that so we could hear the kids on the other end.
So if he would have decapitated him, then I would have loved it.
Would have bought back the entire movie for you.
With the blood squirt from Sadness just shoots up.
And then fuck him in the eye.
Oh God.
I think there is a sadness app you can do. You can add that to the movies.
Finn is gonna do it for me. Finn's arm is mint.
Yeah.
They should have done like a big group high five with all the ghost kids in there.
That was one of my. I told Miles this.
That's
one
the
of
end
my
of the
major-
movie.
My,
That's the end of the movie. It's just that still scene.
And then
My one
they
major
jump up
issue-
and high five and it freezes.
Yeah, that's it.
my one major issue is when he's walking upstairs that you don't see all the ghost kids behind him. That bothered me. I thought that would have been better. As
Like
he
a Star
walked.
Wars, like a Star Wars ending, like Yoda and Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
They'll
Force
give
Ghost,
him,
man.
they'll give him an approving
Force
nod.
Dude, don't worry. When the director goes back and remakes these in a few years, they'll just digitally add all that shit in.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And take out the guns.
Yeah.
All right, this is the most important question. Why is this teacher peeing in the corner?
Huh?
What is he doing
What
there?
the
Oh, I never
fuck?
saw that.
You see this?
Yeah. That's funny.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Being a naughty boy.
Was he a ghost?
Why is he peeing in the corner? What is he doing?
What?
The only
Maybe
thing he
he's
could be
talking.
possibly doing
Maybe
is
it's
Sorry,
a
go ahead.
doorway. He might be talking to someone. He's got that
Yeah, his leg is crossed.
I never pee with my legs crossed like that, but I'm not judging.
That's the only way I can pee.
No, there's no doorway
No,
there.
it's a wall.
It's weird.
The
It's
only thing
weird,
is,
dude.
I was thinking he has to be by like a water fountain, right? But
No, it's a door.
there's no door
It's a
there.
glory hole. It's a
It's
fucking
the
glory
opposite
hole.
way. Look at this one. The white tile on this one. It's on that side too. So you're not seeing the door. Go a little bit further.
There's no door there, right?
Nope,
No,
it's
you
a
don't
glory
see the
hole.
door.
Yeah, I see the door. I see the
Yeah.
I see the doorway. I see
It's
what
a
he's
door.
talking about.
One of
You
the
know,
black
you know this
kids
is in
called
the
him-
you know this
one
is
of
in
the
the
kids called him
70s.
and was like, I carved out a glory hole in the wall. With a bottle cap. There's a glory hole I carved out with a
All right, guys, that was the Black Phone. So let's do some recommendations. I figured we'd recommend some stuff that is done by other famous authors' children or offspring. So
Okay.
my first recommendation will be World War Z. Max Brooks, son of Albert Brooks. Yeah,
He's not the son of Albert. He's the son of Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks. Thank you. I apologize. Mel Brooks. Yeah, this movie isn't great, especially in the third act, but there's some really cool stuff done in it. Definitely the walls and walls. That was pretty sweet. The walls and walls of zombies and horde mentality of climbing on top of each other. The video game's interesting to play if you've never played it. It's you can get it sometimes free on Epic. But yeah, I think it's an all right movie to check out. Is it a horror movie? I don't know, but it's a horror.
Yeah, it is.
So
Yeah, it's zombies, Doug. God, that's like your favorite question. Is this a horror movie? Yes, it's a fucking horror movie.
it's only
Zombies.
PG-13.
Killing everybody.
I'm like Raph. I need to be that hard R. Next one will be Mom and Dad Save the
Easy,
World.
easy, bro.
Woo! Definitely not a horror movie, but an amazing film. If you've never seen it, wow, what a fun time. Written by Chris Matheson, son of Robert Matheson. Yes, this movie. Has anyone seen it? Jay, I know you've seen it.
Yes.
Yeah, Joey, you've seen it. Are you guys fans?
Yes, I lived in the 90s.
Yeah, John
I
Lovitz
did
is
too, but missed
hysterical.
this one.
You've missed this
This
one.
was
Oh.
This was the ultimate two piece. You'd watch this and stay tuned back to back.
I was literally gonna say this reminds me of Stay Tuned, and I love Stay Tuned, but like
this is where you take acid, Miles. This is the movie to.
Except for the fact it stars a pedophile.
Oh
yeah, you kind of got to look past that.
Wait, who?
Beetlejuice.
The father.
Jeffrey Jones.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Huge
I thought you meant John Lithgow, and I was like, what? I've never heard that.
John Lovitz. John Lovitz had this.
Yeah, wrong one, but yeah.
John
Wrong
Lovitz.
John.
Wrong John.
Oh,
I know them all
Wrong
so
John.
well, you know.
Wrong John Silvers. That's
Yeah.
for me.
If you get a chance, this is 90s fucking.
Is that Terry
pureness.
Garr?
Dude,
Yep.
it's got everyone in it.
Wow.
Everyone's in this movie. It's got the kid
It's a
from
good- it's a
Salute Your
good
Shorts in it. Yeah, it's got everyone in it. All right,
Budnick. It's got Budnick.
Budnick, yeah. So, do you guys have any recommendations?
I went with the Mask theme because I was
Okay.
obsessed with the Mask, but I didn't want to go Jason. I didn't want to go any of the some of the underrated ones. I mean, Peach Fuzz and Creep. So I recommend Creep with Mark Duplass.
Love Creep. Man.
If you haven't seen that, that's very solid. And that werewolf Peach Fuzz mask is terrifying. And The Strangers, because those are fucking awesome.
Oh,
masks.
so good.
Yeah.
So I went with the Mask theme. So those are my two.
Anyone else got anything under the mask?
I'm gonna go with the kids disappearing in balloons and go with the remake of It.
Yeah. I know the first part's pretty good. I never watched the second part.
Yep.
So I
Did
don't
not
know.
like
Really?
the second part. Love
Really?
the first part.
Interesting.
You never finished it?
Never finished it. The first one.
Yeah.
freaked
That's
me out too
crazy.
much.
First
Wild.
one's great.
That's crazy.
I like the first one better, but I think they're both very, very watchable and kind of need to
Yeah.
be watched together.
Yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
going with the kidnapping theme, I want to say Clockwork Orange.
Hell yeah.
One of my favorite romantic comedies.
Also, rape. Also keeping the
Yeah.
rape thing going.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
I guess going with serial killers, a much better movie about a serial killer would be Maniac, the original Maniac, not the remake.
Oh, dude.
Oh, you don't like the remake?
I mean, I believe no. I mean, like the remake is okay. It's watchable. It's fine.
The remake
I
is almost
feel
more like an art house film.
Yeah. I feel like the original is like it's like up everyone's
So
alley. I mean,
Grindhouse,
there's
man.
blood,
It's so- yeah.
guts. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's got so many good kills.
That's
It's a
Tom
classic.
Savini. Tom Savini doing the now. Who the director was the same guy that starred in it?
No.
I can't remember his name.
No, you're wrong. Nope, not true.
What is it?
No, the director was different than the guy who started it. I just looked it up like a week or so ago.
Joseph
Yeah.
Spino? Is it Joe Spino?
Yeah, it's the guy. Yeah, because it's the guy who did Maniac Cop directed it.
So Joe Spino,
okay.
he did the screenplay and story by, but he didn't direct it. William Lustig
Okay. Gotcha.
directed it.
Same thing. That's the guy from Maniac Cop and all those bad boys. I think I'm right. And he did Uncle Sam. He did Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
All right.
Maniac Cop 2 and 3.
I gotta recommend. This movie came out in 2018. It's very much a sign of the times. It's it revolves around kids and whatnot. It's a phenomenal movie. I think it's still on Shudder. It's called Summer of '84.
I
really
love
good movie.
that movie, dude.
It's very much in this same vein.
Yeah.
Oh, it's definitely. It's to me, it's better than the Black Phone. But teach their own. Watch it and decide for yourself.
Summer of '84 would be
I've
a good
wanted
one
to
to
see
do on
that.
this,
I've really
on
wanted.
this podcast, honestly.
Yeah, I've wanted to see that. I've always missed it somehow.
Dave, I'd love to watch it with you sometime. You want?
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it. I'm fucking down for that.
I got one in the staying with the child abduction specifically. This movie is really divisive. Like some people really love it, some people really hate it. It's called Megan is Missing.
Oh my god,
super fucked up, way more fucked up than this movie. And it's found footage, which is obviously some people's not their cup of tea. So.
That is a slow fucking burn.
It is a very slow burn. But when it does ramp up, oh my god, ugh, yeah,
great payoff.
It sticks with you.
Right on. All right, guys. Well, let's tell them where they can find you. David, let's start with you. Where can they find you on the internet? Shows coming up.
I will be on a show with Miles. Thanks for putting me on the show, buddy. I got a couple of friends coming out already. August 4th at DCC. Is that correct? At 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
And then if you want, go over to Curiosities over by White Rock Lake and check out my creepy art. Or on Facebook, you can see my stop motion movies at Stop Motion Nightmares.
That new one was awesome too. So definitely go check those out.
Thanks, man.
Joey, where can they find you? You got any upcoming shows?
As you can see by my name, Joey Quits Comedy is the social media. That's Twitter, Instagram. The ones I got a lot of shows coming up. The ones I'm excited about for the nerds out there. I got a Marvel show at the Red Room in Hyenas.
Hell yeah.
The comics dress up as a Marvel character. You do material based off of that.
Who you gonna be, dude?
I'm gonna be Gambit. So that's August 14th.
Oh, badass.
Anybody want a po' boy?
I'm gonna go with the angle of him being a gambling addict. So that'll be fun. Then I got Basement Manifesto, which is my live podcast in the Red Room. August 26th, and then I'll be at the Addison Improv. If you didn't get your fill of rape and racism like you guys wanted from the movie, it's a dirty show. It's the dirty show at Addison Improv. So it's September 17th. So Joey Quits Comedy. I'll be posting.
Dirty at 11:30.
Very nice. Raph, where can they find you?
It's the baby strangulation that I was missing. RFLSON on YouTube.
Right on. Alex, you got anything you want to pimp?
Yeah, follow me at Action Bastard Reviews on Instagram. I'm working on a review right now, so hopefully I should have that up in like a week or so.
Right on. And then Miles, where can they find you? You got shows coming up?
Yeah, I've got a show coming up. The one David mentioned next Thursday at DCC or Dallas Comedy Club. I also have the Improv next Wednesday at Addison there. And then a clean comedy show on the 10th, so y'all can officially boot me off of the podcast at that point. Yeah. And then you can follow me everywhere at Mr. Most Days Off.
In the podcast.
Oh yeah. I also have a podcast. It's I'm really good at promoting it. It's a Simpsons podcast called Best Darn Diddly, and that's DIDDLY.
Right on. And you can find us at wearepodcast.podbean.com, where you can find all the podcasts. Check out our social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at /WeArePodcast Network. And you can find us every Monday for Camp/Horrorcast, where we talk horror movies from the past, live at 8 p.m. Central, live on Twitch, except for next Monday, because next Monday is First Monday, which, Jay, are you managing that this Monday?
I am hosting it. We do not call it managing. We call it hosting. I will be your host with the most, making my triumphant return after 3 months. We're gonna have a good time, and Duck's gonna be there whether he likes it or not. It's gonna be a great
That's right.
Yeah.
My job relies on it, so I just got.
So far, this one has the highest pre-sales. As of 2 weeks out, we have 40 tables already reserved.
Dude, it's fucking people love it, man. People absolutely love
Once
it.
a month, man. We're never changing that, man. Once a month. That's the way to go.
Smart. Very smart.
Jesus Christ. We might do a midnight movie. We're going to discuss this. We'll find out more. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. Keep horror in your heart. Keep it there. Thank you guys all for being here. We appreciate it. And with that said, I'm going to cut the feed if I remember how to.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
And there it is. Thank you again so much for checking out the podcast today. If you enjoyed it, head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, and iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And since this is Camp/Horrorcast, if you want to check us out live, we will be on Twitch and YouTube every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time. You can find us at twitch.tv/We Are Podcast Network and youtube.com/We Are Podcast Network. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, you're going to love the other podcasts here on the We Are Podcast Network. We have We Are Air, where we talk movies, entertainment, whatever the fuck we want to talk about. That's me, that's Jake, and that's Javi. We're breaking down that pop culture, and we're having so much fun. And don't forget to check out We Are Bagu, a video game podcast, where we talk Atari to Steam and everything in between. That's me and Dr. Ethan Eastwood breaking down all that video game lore, heroes, Gyros, a Dungeons and Distractions side quest. Me and the boys were playing some D&D. You can start that one from Season 1, Episode 1. It's a blast the whole way through. And I Hate Being Sober. Personal stories from epic people. I sit down with some of my favorite people of all time. We talk about their trials, their tribulations, and their journey this far. Also, check the links in the description for our social media. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /We Are Podcast Network. With that said, hopefully we see you in the live stream.